Hey everyone, Horseman here, and today's video is going to be revisiting a video that I had created during the beta in regards to what I called the Poison Bone build. So it is using the Rathma set, otherwise known as the Bone set, and many other folks actually called it the Skeletal Mage build, and whatever have you. I mean, it's not exactly one of those builds that isn't well known. Of course, this is what I had come up with. I don't know if there's any other variations of it. If you know any ways that I can better this build, please let me know. I mean, I find this build a lot of fun, but thus far I haven't been able to get nearly as far as I can with the Inaria set. All right. As a quick breakdown, these are the skills that I'm using along with the runes. You got Siphon Blood Power Shift, which is going to damage. It will increase the longer you siphon the target, and you'll see stacks apply down below here. Skeletal Mage Contamination. It's a fun little ability where it just summons a Skeletal Mage, a single Skeletal Mage, and then it pulses. The reason why there is two right now is because of this ring right here, the Circle of Neluja's Evil, where it does raise an additional Skeletal Mage and has them last a little bit longer. Next, I'm also using the Devouring Aura for a couple of reasons. One, you're going to want to make sure that you have your essence up all the time, so any corpse that you can consume will absolutely help with that. Okay, so I also use Command Skeletons, which will send the skeletons, you can have up to 7 there, to your specified target and explode, dealing damage to all the enemies near the target. And again, it is poison, and I'll explain a little bit later why I'm using pretty much all poison abilities. Bone Armor Dislocation. This is a very handy ability. Not only does it do damage upon activation, it boosts up your toughness, as well as stunning all the enemies that are around in that little radius there. That's going to be helpful using a certain ring. Okay, lastly, I'm using Army of the Dead, Blighted Grasp, where Army of the Dead is going to not only summon that massive army of death to pummel the targeted location, but it's also going to be raising hands from the ground and deal the damage to enemies, and it's going to do so using poison. Now, it's got a 120-second cooldown, which is why it's going to be important to make sure that you reforge into cooldown reduction. So, anything to get that down. Alright. For my passes, I'm using Extended Servitude. Increase the duration of Skeletal Mage and revive minions by 25%. It's going to be very helpful, especially for those Skeletal Mages. It's going to reduce the amount of essence that you're going to be using in order to kill your enemies. Rathma's Shield. You cannot lose life for 4 seconds after using Land of the Dead, Army of the Dead, or Simulacrum. Life from Death. I like this ability because, especially with the Devouring Aura, as I consume courses, I have a chance to spawn a health globe, which not only heals me, but also returns my essence. Final Service. When you take lethal damage, you are sustained, preventing all damage 4 seconds. In addition, all minions are consumed to heal you for 10% of your life. So again, this is going to be your cheat death ability. Very handy, especially in higher grifts. One thing that is nice about this particular build is the fact that it is not terribly item dependent. It's a great kind of interim build. With better gear, you're going to be able to get higher, and I'm sure that even I'd be able to push 70 and 80 with this build had I had better optimized gear and more ancients, perhaps a primal or two. But when I first started using this build during live, I was running Torment 2. But when I switched over, I was able to pretty instantly get to Torment 6. And I was running it flawlessly. So anything above that, it was a bit of a struggle, so I stopped doing it. For the gems, I am using the Esoteric Alteration, Enforcer, and Bane of the Trapped. Again, with the stuns that you're going to be doing, it's really nice to make sure that you have that in there. And level 25 is going to be reducing you're going to be slowing all enemies within 15 yards, which is great as well. In this case, I'm using the Witching Hour, Compass Rose, and Traveler's Pledge combination with your Scythe of the Cycle, Bone Ringer, And once again, Nair's Black Death. Now this is the reason why I'm using so many poison abilities, because every different poison skill that I use is going to increase the damage of my poison skills by 65% for 15 seconds. So it's kind of like your Tal Rasha's there, just keeping that up. Razeth's Volition, Skeletal Mage gains the effect of the Gift of Death Rune, which means that every time it dies, it's going to be leaving behind a corpse. And of course, Crispin's Sentence, which I already went over. Let's give it a run. There are great in just hammering enemies. Having the ability to summon 2 at a time at the same cost of 1 is just amazing. Just tears champs and elites apart.
All must serve the cycle.
Disadvantages to this particular build is running out of corpses. It's not an absolute detriment due to the fact that you do have Siphon Blood, but you do feel it because, I mean, let's be real, Siphon Blood is very slow. Alright, so that's the build in a nutshell. I'm sure that you guys have already seen different variations or very similar or even the exact same types of builds that this is. I thought it worked well together, especially just having all that poison damage kind of stacking up on each other, utilizing those skeletal mages as much as you possibly can, getting that damage reduction, and to be honest, I mean, this is, again, the best part about this build is the fact that you do not necessarily have to have the gear in order for it to work. I mean, it's something that can help you get to higher torment levels to help you get the gear to drop, and that's really the main idea behind this particular build. I mean, it looks like the flavor of the month is going to be the Inaria set, but this is something that will help you get there if you don't have easy accessibility to that set. So if you're looking for a good, fun build to go for, this is absolutely it, because of the fact that it does not require a lot of gear, if any. So, alright, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something. If you did, please throw it a like and subscribe for more as I continue my progress with the Necromancer. And until next time, thank you for watching. Horseman out.